Hey guys, happy Saturday. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Excuse me. It is downpouring here, so there's not much I can do with the shop. Plus, my little Van Bam started throwing up like early hours of like the night, morning, here and there. Poor little thing. But then once we got up and stuff, she was fine. It wasn't anything, so I gave her a little nausea medicine, and then just in case, and then she ate, but she's been fine ever since. But she's playing right now. I didn't want her to play, but they're just sitting across the street playing like games, not playing. But I was like, don't go out, you're sick. And she was crying and screaming, so I was like, maybe she wasn't sick, maybe she was just hungry, because she usually eats a lot before bed when I eat, and she didn't last night, so I think that might be it. Um, yeah, usually I don't let her go out if she's sick, but I don't know if that was like, you know how sometimes you get hungry when you don't eat, that you actually feel sick, and that's kind of like it was. It wasn't like violently throwing up or anything, it was like she did it twice. But then, like I said, she was fine once we got up. So, we stayed home anyway, and I'm trying to watch this while I have the time. I can pretty much only listen to it, and then my memory of watching it, but you guys know how my memory is. So, and plus it's all about the details, so I'm trying to watch this. Um oh my god, they're showing the 90s part, 93, like, because it's the cruel summer, and it's they do different tones of lighting in the different years, so you know where you're at. So in the obviously in the happy part of 93, it's all bright and cool, and like the settings are really good even. Anyway, so I read comments, and I wrote some stuff down, and I Googled it and applied, did applications, put my names, and wrote down what I have to do for other things. So thank you guys for that. I do always read the comments and um, respond or check out or look up or do apply, enter, whatever you guys always recommend. So thank you for that. Um, there's a AM Baker. I hope you're seeing my comments. I don't see any other comments, but I did check and see. Maybe there's something wrong. I'm not sure. But I do see all the comments. I just didn't see any. I'm not ignoring you or anything, though. I always appreciate everybody who watches and subscribes and stuff, and no, I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry if something's wrong or not coming up. Thank you very much, though. I definitely don't want you to think I'm not responding to you. I'm not sure if it's a settings thing. And for everybody else, I'm still learning how to use this too. So I don't know if people can even like message me on the side. I don't know how to, I haven't checked all that out yet. And it's an old email that I don't have up. I have my main one up that you go to 1,000 emails from all the things I'm applying for every day. So that's what I don't get, like notifications saying so and so commented or so and so added you or anything like that, unless I check that other email, which I don't too often. I'm so confused. The Court of Common Pleas keeps resending the same thing. It's the custody thing, just a copy of it in the order to the mother. And then they sent this, where the first page is Donald's the plaintiff, I'm Dana Sykes, and this was given by the judge and done, blah, blah, blah. It's done. It's over. But then the page attached to it is Court of Common Pleas. It says the case number. The name is Ola Dapo Omojola. Almost sounds fake. It almost sounds like something fun now. Ola Dapo Omojola. 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 Like that's, I don't know. Like the Macarena. You remember that? Hey, Macarena. Oh, anyway, it's Oma Jola versus Matu Oma Jola. And then it says in divorce. Ordered. And now this 25th day of April, upon consideration of plaintiff's emergency amended petition for reliefs, marital premises filed on April 24th, it is hereby ordered and decreed that said petition is denied. So I'm going to call on Monday and tell them that they must have clipped this by mistake, like everything else everybody has done the entire time, no matter where I go. This is by mistake, and so that they resend it and the person knows what's going on with this. Because I don't want them getting messed up, not receiving their mail and stuff. When the landlord did the whole eviction thing, it wasn't eviction, it was the recovery of the property, back rent. It eventually came in the mail like a week later, but when they first sent it, it was, or no, it was in the mail. Or no, she said it was taped to the door. That's what I was thinking of. It came in the mail, but she said it was taped to her door, and it was 2 doors down. So, you know how I get paranoid sometimes. I was like, oh, I wonder if he taped it on the on the wrong door on purpose so that I wouldn't get it and wouldn't show up, and then I would have to go. But then it did come in the mail. So, like in the mailbox mail. So I was just like, maybe it was an honest mistake. But if I wouldn't have gotten that and it didn't come in the mail, I wouldn't have known. So I will call them so that their mail's not getting messed up. And it's emergency thing, it says, so she could be in danger or something. So they gotta know that they sent the wrong person, the wrong mail again. So that's that with the mail. And I did everything else you guys applied or recommended and stuff. Thank you again for that. Just a boring Saturday today. I actually just sitting. Usually I'm trying to keep up with both places, so I'm usually cleaning in here nonstop, cleaning in there. And I should be cleaning in here today. I always do the surface cleaning right now. That's what I call it, when everything's in order and then you just, dust and sweep and vacuum, but everything's where it's supposed to be. But I don't like that because it's so small, and with the animals, I guess that's why you have to dust and vacuum so much, from the day we moved in here. And then maybe these ceilings make more dust or something, and I never understood it. And Don did not believe me that you had to sweep 8 times a day until someone else did it and was like, yeah. So I'm doing that every day to keep up with it. But before all this happened, before he went away, that's what I spent my days doing, is cleaning every day, doing the surface cleaning, but also moving everything, under everything, around everything. So that's why when Don went away, my mom and everyone else was like, well, search the house. He could have stuff hidden in there, money or papers or titles or this and that. And I was just like, no, there's no way, because it's a small house. I know I have everything, and I clean under, in, around everything. There's nowhere to hide anything except these ceilings. But I did look. I can't really see too good. But why would he hide money in the house? I did look pretty good. I looked. It's hard to see because of how low the ceiling is. And my mom was like, and then when my mom realized it was these drop ceilings, she was like, you need to take every single one out and look. And I guess I should. I will if we ever have to move, just in case I'm not going to leave money in the house. But I did try to start that in the back mudroom, and I tried to move one and it wouldn't fit back in. And then I tried to move the other, and it was the same thing. And I was like, they don't fit back in, and they're bashing on my head. All the stuff that's in them's falling everywhere. It was a mess. So I was like, that's a huge job to take every single one down. But I looked where, like, I would think that he would have put the stuff. You know, he pretty much could have only done that in the one room or in the back room because I was always here. The only time I wasn't was for my doctor's appointment, and he took me, so he wasn't there either. So there's just not, you know, I guess we went to Amber's for a week here and there, but that's why I was like, places where he would, I know how he thinks. I looked. Were ones that looked like they were touched or moved. I don't know. It's just I kind of already went through that when he went to jail with the gypsies for trying to scam the casino. I'm going to say Vanna's 8. I guess that was 9-10 years ago. He went to jail for 30 days, and no one expected it to be that long, and I was so mad the whole time because Al didn't do anything. I was like, well, Al's supposed to be your number 2. I was still thinking Italian like. And I'm like, he's your number 2. He didn't even get toilet paper. He wouldn't do this and that. Walt had to come and bring me stuff. And I was like, and why was there no money in the vents? And he doesn't think like that. He wouldn't do that. I thought like that. I was looking in the vents saying, why is there money in the vents? So he just wasn't like that. There's no money hidden anywhere. There wasn't any money. He told fibs. So there's that. Hey, Macarena. Hey, Macarena, Casanina, Catanina, Casanita, Ganana, Sina, Calanina. Hey, Macarena, Tanagana, Saganina. Hey, Macarena. Hey, Macarena, Casanina, Calanina, Cananin, Tinanina, Nanina, Casina. Hey, Macarena, Tina, Calin, Cananina. Hey, Macarena. Hey, hey, hey. Zoop, 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 zoop. Zoop, zoop. What was the other part? Something about a boyfriend. Come with me, dance with me, and if you don't, I'll take you home with me. No, it was like that was a part, but there was a part too with about the boyfriend, where she's talking to her the girl. My mom loved that part, and he was so fine. Ah ha 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 ha. Hey, Macarena, Casanina, Tercalina. Ona cinta calana, Danina, Satarina. Hey, Macarena, Acalina, Satarina. Hey, Macarena. Do you guys, that's been years though. There's no like dances nowadays that took the world by storm like that. You know, the dance I was doing yesterday, like anybody would know what that is in a white tee and jeans, especially if you're doing the smile, the smile that they do when they're doing that. But that was like, hey, Magalina, Casanina, Catanina, Casanina, Sina Tacalina. Hey, Macarena, Nina, Sina Cananina. Hey, Macarena. Woo! Hey, Macarena, Casanina, Tecalina, Nana, Sin Tecalana, Mamina, Sindalina. Hey, Macarena, Tigasina, Calanina. Hey, Macarena. Hey, Macarena, Anasina, Canalina, Conasin, Tecalana, Casina, Gambina. Hey, Macarena, Casanina, Tecalina. Hey, Macarena. Remember? That was so much fun. I want to say that was 98, and that was the Fallcroft Pool Club. When they would have the parties like once a couple times a month at nighttime, where it was so cool because it was a big, huge community pool with the snack bar with the nachos and the pizza and the Pepsi. And then the DJ would come and be doing the dances. That was so much fun. Do community pools, are they even a thing anymore? It's like some of the best times of our lives were in those community pools. Huh. So much fun though. Um, what else was I going to talk about? I thought I had a couple things. The mail, the recommendations, saying thank you. Thank you to people who donated to me. Oh, I think it might be the same person I just said I'm sorry to about the settings. It's Baker. I don't like to say names full on, but thank you so much for donating. I'm thinking it might be the same because of the thing, but um, I don't want to say full names, but thank you so much. You're so sweet and I love you. Thank you. Um, seriously, every dollar counts, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, honey. It's very nice of you. I'm trying to think about it. There was something I thought earlier where I was like I should talk about that in a video. I thought it had something to do with something in a comment that I was talking about. I guess not. I walked to Wawa and I had points, so I just got the coffee with the points. And then I got a loaf of bread. And I thought I had more cash on me, but I didn't, so I had to use my card. So the money that Baker just gave, I was able to grab her bread and some snacks for the next week. So thank you so much. I mean, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That it was 25, I think, or it's going to be 23 once it goes in. So that helped with snacks for the baby for the next week and a half too. Probably she doesn't eat snacks real quick like that. Thank you so much. I can't think when Macarena stuck in my head. It's so hard. I'm trying to literally put the words out of my head because I know I'm not saying them right. I know I'm not saying it right because I haven't heard the song, so I don't even know if I ever was saying the words right. Probably, I'm sure we memorized it because I could sing the whole soundtrack of Selena and I was saying the words right. I had no idea what I was saying, but like that entire soundtrack, I had every word down right. It was verbatim, it was good, and it was correct. And I could sing it like in my real singing voice. That was another thing. That was huge. 97. I remember I was in love with that and I started dressing like her and I was singing and my hair was pitch black obviously with the bangs and my friends would be like, you look like Selena on the weekends when I would dress in the tights and um, like a bathing suit type shirt and then and lipstick. That was a good movie. That really made her career, put her on the map. J Lo. Good story. So sad. I really did like that they made a series about it. And that girl, she looked just like her. She looked just like her and she looked just like J Lo in the movie. And they got J Lo pretty good to look like her, but this girl looked a lot more like her. And it was a lot of like scenes that were in the movie and kind of the same, but it was also a lot of other things that you didn't see and her real life, and it was so good. That was years ago, so I don't remember it at all, but I remember I was like, wow, they did really good with that. I think that was around the time this came out because those were the first new things that I had watched in years. That was something I clicked on, so I wasn't like anxious about it to come out every week. I think I watched it when it was done already, so it was nothing like this show. This show blew my mind. I watched the finale earlier because of the shows, and I was hysterically crying. We watched a lot of movies this past week or two because of what was going on with Jane, the bad stuff that happened to her that I can't talk about. But they were true stories and they were emotional and it was sad and you teared up here and there. But I don't know. The writing, the acting, the fact that you got to know both of them and then their relationship and then putting yourself in her shoes, putting yourself in his shoes. I don't, I guess the way it played out, like thinking he was going to kill her and then that he wanted to kill himself. And then what actually really did happen, I was hysterical. That's just a really powerful last scene. I mean, your jaw's dropped and you don't even realize it because I think anybody will cry when they watch that because it's just like, you don't know what you're feeling because it's so much different things at once. And then the song that's even playing with it, they did so good on this. I forgot about all the reflections, like how it's a bunch of mirrors and this and that. And I hope that they get the same writers. I don't know how all this stuff works. Directors, cameramen, whatever. Everybody that was involved with the first one back on season 3 to just get them back on track. There's a lot of storylines they could do, but if they get it back to like this, it would be awesome. I think what happened was if she did write this, or whoever's idea was to make this show, which I thought was Jessica Biel's, this is something she probably wrote up and thought of for years. So that's why there's so much attention to detail and stuff. And it's just great. Just like the first of anything, a first movie that was huge. They have their scripts and they work on them for years and years and years and years and years. So they have every detail and every little thing perfect, and then it finally gets made. And then it's such a big, huge hit that they got to hurry up and do the second one. And when you hurry up and do something like that, that's where it comes from. It's never as good as the first, the sequel type of thing. There's some cases where the people don't care about the money and how popular it is. They just want it done right, so they don't want to do it quickly. They'll wait quite a few years before the next one comes out, and that's when usually it's like that's as good as the first. So, I mean, she can take her time with it and hurry it up. They just got to pay attention to detail. There's nothing wrong with being the same. Like, everybody nowadays is always trying to top everybody else, especially with the whole doing to something different. So it's like all these movies and shows are just so wild and different, like American Horror Story and stuff, and some things you can't follow. And then like when something comes out like this and it's a huge hit, and it's a show like this where they do a different type of story and cast every season, which is a new thing. They change it and they try to make it wild and this and that. So they didn't want it to be exactly the same, I guess, but they did want to change it a little. I'm still with don't change what ain't broke. You know, yeah, change the storyline, change the cast, but I would keep the major things that are making us different and good. Like I mentioned them before. The layout, the idea with the computer thing, the timeline, the even the framing, the director with the different views and like reflections from the mirrors and this and that. I forgot about that. I was so into it when it premiered that when I rewatched it later over and over again, I was actually looking in the different mirror reflections thinking there was like a clue. I kept saying, why do they keep doing that? But it just made it look cool. Um and mysterious and weird because of what was going on between the two girls. That was great. It was really good. I gotta give her credit. That was such a good story and a good show. You know? And so was season two. I don't want to say it was bad. It was, like I said, it was a really good storyline. I was into it. I was like, I knew it was going to be a who done it because that's what this is. So I was like, well, obviously somebody happened. Obviously, these two girls were involved. The boy's missing, then he's murdered, and they're trying to get their story together. So obviously, they had something to do with it the whole time. But then it was like, well, who actually did it? And then once it goes on, then it's like, well, they both didn't do it. Then who did? You know? So it's so. I'm just saying it could the details, everything, even the home decor, the settings in this season one, the mall, even the settings, everything is back 90s. Everything. People today think about the 90s and they think about like certain popular things that I've listed in the other videos, and it's like that was the 90s, but no, you forget. You honestly do. But because I'm like stuck in that time loop of the year, I don't forget. I see the decor. I see the types of curtains. I see the TV shows that were on. The you know, even if it was something like Teletubbies, I see the toys, all of the toys. I see the room with the dolls. Hear, my mom screaming, tell them to stop calling. I'm getting booted offline. Stuff like that. It's just everything. All the movies that were popular in the background. It's just like every little thing. The books, Harry Potter. It was a lot. So, season one did pretty good with that. I want to stop talking about it, so I want to try and get through watching it all completely through so I can just do the whole review properly. I have stuff written down where I want to show, like, what was this, the twists and the turns, and laid it all. It's going to be spoilers, though. So that's why I'm kind of building up to it for anyone that's watching me and hasn't watched it yet to watch it, especially the season one, because it just blows your mind every other episode. And then watch season two because I don't like to do spoilers if it's going to ruin what someone hasn't seen it yet. So that's that too. I'm waiting for. I'm just lonely, so I'm talking. All right, I'm gonna relax, check on my Van Llama, and just trying to think of other things. Come to my window. I say. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, 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 I say, what's going on? And I said, hey, hey, yeah, 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 I said, hey, what's going on? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 25 years in my life and still trying to get that great feeling alone for a destination. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Do you know that I have not ever in my life received a Megan's Law paper? And we're right in near a town that has always been known for like sex offenders, pedophiles, whatever you want to call them, for coming. They come. I guess it's cheaper to live here, whatever. And no one ever understood why, because the school is smack dab right there. And in this town limits, that's like within, well within the miles that they're not supposed to be. So there's 56 of them in this town limits. So how is that possible? And obviously they're moving in. We've been here for 2 years. I don't know if it's all being done online, but I'm very upset that it's being done online then, because no, a lot of people, not everybody gets online or uses the computer. I've gotten on there obviously to check. I done that wherever we moved to stay up with it. I get on there, I type our address in, and you see who they are and what they are, and look at pictures and stuff. But for people that don't use the computer, older people, whatever, they have their grandkids over there. A lot of people end up having to take custody of their grandkids or kids like that. They don't use computers. We don't use computers. Why on earth haven't we been given that? Isn't it supposed to be mailed? And then that's what made me think about it. I was like, I've lived in like 8 different places over the past 19 years for years at a time, and I've never, ever, ever even seen one. So I was like thinking about that as I was saying it. I was like, I don't even know anybody that's ever gotten one. So what, did they just stop doing that? And it occurred to me because I have a friend that works somewhere where these kids have to come in, and she was like, it just keeps getting worse, and they just keep getting younger and younger. That it was an 11-year-old tiny little boy that was in trouble because he talked his 8-year-old brother into giving him oral. And then when they found that out, the whole family went to jail because the father was doing it and someone else and this and this and that. And I was just like, another one? And it's stories like that all the time. And it's sad and it's upsetting and it's infuriating. And I said that reminds me of the Mendez brothers, because Eric, the more innocent one, he was like so tortured by the father, and the father was doing that to them from the time they were babies to the time they were like 17. And then when the brother was like, I always protect you, Eric, this and that, that's when he broke down. He was like, you did it to me too. And then he did admit to that and apologized to his brother in trial, saying, I was only doing what dad taught us to do. Like, they don't, so it's like they get confused as children, I think, and then they think it's okay to do it, though they know it's wrong, but it's also what they're being taught to do. And then I don't know, it ruins it. It's awful. I feel so awful for these kids. And then the kids that are thinking like that and then making other kids do it, and then it's just like, what is wrong with the parents or the people that do that? It's infuriating. There was one girl that was young too, a while back, and I'll just never get this story out of my head. She was in there and she was tested for chlamydia. And then she was in there for accusations of molesting the younger sister, I think. And then the younger sister was only like, she was Vanna's age, so she was 6. And the younger sister, a 6-year-old, tested positive for chlamydia. And then when it all came out, and it was because the older sister was making the younger sister do the same thing to her. And or she was touching herself and then touching the little girl, or making the little girl touch herself and do that. And then the worst part of the whole situation was that the little girl said that she was going After she would make, her sister would make her do that, that she was going in the shower and she would just sit in the shower and just cry. And she said that she would cry so that no one would hear her in the shower. And I just pictured little Annabelle and all these little kids that are around just crying in the shower because they're so scared and so hurt. And I was just like, how can people do that to each other? It's awful. And I just think that the main problem with all that is that these people are not getting, it's like it needs to be more consequences. They go to jail for a few years, they get out, they do it again, they don't care. The men, they go right back to jail, they don't care. It needs to be more than a few years in jail because it's ruining this country. It really is. All these poor kids. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. I talk to Annabelle about it all the time. She talks to me. She always would. She knows that she could never have to hide anything like that from me. You know, I tell her the things that people say, like, oh, you'll get in trouble too, or we'll hurt your mom, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. You know, no. She will tell me if somebody ever even tries to ask or do anything like that. It's awful. It really is. I know that's a heavy subject, but that's what made me think about Megan's Law, and I was just like, I haven't ever even seen one of those, so where is it? I actually really would like to make this like a viral thing, if that's what they're calling it nowadays, specifically about this Megan's Law, because that needs to come in the mail. They need to get their shit together with all of this. Nobody's telling anybody where it is or what's happening or who's moving in. And I always wonder, what about when you move into a house next door? You're just supposed to assume or just not know that there's one next door, because the Megan Law only comes when they move in next door. Or it's supposed to. I guess your responsibility when you move in is to look for yourself, I guess. I never understood that either. I think that it should go around every few months maybe for people that moved in, and that's the consequences for them. They did that, who cares? It keeps got to coming around. They got to keep it updated and circulation. You know, people move in, people move out, new people move in with people, you never know. So these laws need to get better. This is bullshit. It's out of control. Excuse my French. The past 2 days I didn't feel much pain here, even though like yesterday my face was swollen, and it is swollen today. So it was hurting a little this morning, so I knew it, and I looked with the flashlight, and the whole thing is really swelled up. And when I pushed on it a little, pus came out. So I'm just like, great. So I was washing my mouth out with all the things. God, that's all I need, is this to swell up like a baseball. Because then it's swollen on the whole side of it, like gum, like abscess. But the one time it did it with the root canal one, it was all the way down here, I guess, at the bottom of the jaw, so it swelled up like a baseball. That is all I fucking need. Alright, guys, I am out for the day. I'll probably post tomorrow, but if I don't, I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you for all your help all the time. And I just don't mean like donations and stuff like that, obviously, but I'm just talking in general, watching, following me, sharing my videos, commenting. I truly appreciate anybody even watching a video. So I'm amazed that so many are interacting and stuff. It's pretty cool, you know, making new friends and stuff. So I love you guys, and I'll see you. Be safe this weekend. I don't know why I was thinking of something. All right, bye, guys.